Let's understand once again effects of global warming. Global warming is when the Earth's temperature is increasing due to chemicals being processed in factories, through chimneys and burning of fossil fuel, and harmful gases and chemical substances. All these chemicals weaken the ozone layer and more and heat will enter the Earth's atmosphere that envelopes the surface. The Earth's becoming hotter, melting the ice in different areas. Global warming has caused weather conditions to change. In all this continues frequently, this could happen. Human activities have caused pollution and it is increasing the Earth's temperature and fundamentally changing the world around us. The main cause, as we have already learnt in the previous, is the greenhouse effect. The gases in the atmosphere such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide and chlorofluorocarbon stop the heat of the sun from escaping, thus making the atmosphere hot. The more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, more heat gets trapped in increasing the Earth's temperature. Human activities like the burning of fossil fuels have increased. The amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere since the Industrial Revolution has increased. Now, this again, the rapid increase in the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere has warmed the temperature at an alarming rate. You can see here the atmosphere is increasing and it has caused an alarming change in the atmosphere. Climate changes has caused different effects in the oceans, lands and temperature and climate. Climate change has impact on our oceans, weather, food, sources and our health. Ice sheets such as Greenland and Antarctica are melting. The melting has caused flood conditions. This means not major storm, floods and heavy snowfalls, but also causes longer and more frequent droughts. Growing crops becomes more difficult. Areas where plants and animals can live will shift. Water supplies have reduced. Population growth should be controlled and health-related problems to be minimized, as we must learn to replace use of fossil fuels with renewable or energy sources like solar, wind and tidal energy, which don't produce greenhouse gases. We might be able to prevent some of these vast effects of climate change. Now let's understand measures to prevent global warming. We must try to reduce the use of sources that release carbon dioxide. Now, some of the major man-made sources are industries, transportation, land use change, soil cultivation and biomass burning. We must practice more of afforestation and conservation of forest by growing trees and help reduce carbon dioxide. We should avoid the use of plastic. Optimum use of manures and pesticides to be used. Adopt organic farming, use green manure and cattle manure. Add biotics in the food for animals. Now what is biotic and abiotic? Biotic is all living things like plants, animals, fungi, bacteria. We should try to use that for animals. Non-living is soil and other non-living factors. We should try to make optimum use of household appliances and proper use of means of transport. Human population should be kept under control. That is, a check should be there for the growth of population. Designs of buildings should be having sufficient ventilation to save electricity and increase the use of eco-friendly papers. We should use water carefully and practice rainwater harvesting and use petroleum products judicially. We can increase the use of CNG and non-conventional sources of energy. Now what is non-conventional sources of energy. They are also known as renewable energy sources. They are continuously replenished by natural process. For example, solar energy, wind energy, bioenergy, etc. They do not emit any greenhouse gases and thus do not harm nature. In addition to this, they do not get over. Now, let's see the difference of non-conventional and conventional energy. Non-conventional, like I said, solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, they are there in the atmosphere. They don't get over. Now, conventional energy sources are coal, LPG, petroleum, diesel, which get over after a few years and in addition to this they emit gases which harm the temperature of the atmosphere. Now, global policy of environmental protection. Now, on realizing that human activities are the root cause of destruction of the environment, the countries of the world gathered at Stockholm, capital of Sweden, in 1972 to think of ways to protect the environment. Another convention was held at Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. In the meeting held at Copenhagen, that is the capital of Denmark, in the year 2009, they discussed about global warming. It was observed that developed nations are not accepting the carbon cut. It means that actually it is the developed nations who are responsible for causing this global warming because of emission of greenhouse gases. Thus, it was decided to give an aid of $100 billion for the development of these developing nations. In this meeting, 59 research papers from 45 seriously regarding countries were represented, and through it the leaders of the world were made to think regarding the changing climate. In short, we can say that the world is now aware and is trying to find a solution to save the earth. So here we come to the end of the lesson.